If I would have known I was going to be this popular, I would have been on here sooner than later. Because y'all girls are hilarious. The ruckus that I caused with my last video about my Kindle and my Kobo is freaking hilarious. First of all, people take themselves too seriously. I would like to take the time right now to let you know and to advise you to go touch some grass. Thank you. I did take some notes from last time. My dog was basically dancing in her crate, so I got my microphone now this time. So I want to make sure that you can hear me clearly, okay? So we have no any other confusion, that you understand while I feel is not the standard, nor do I expect that to be the standard for you. So please take what I say with a grain of salt and understand that everybody's opinions are different. And if you just don't like it, you don't like it. But you don't have to argue about it, because it's helping me, because I've grown over the last week, which is really cool. But I also feel bad for some of the people, because y'all were like, some of these people are being mean in the comments. I'm like, dang, chill out. It's not even that serious. You choose how you spend your money. If you want to feel like spending your money on Amazon and Kindle, go ahead. If you don't, you don't. There's no set rules for this, ladies and gentlemen. I was literally talking to my friend talking to my friend yesterday about this, about how like people really don't think within the gray anymore. There's no nuance. Like, people don't realize that it doesn't have to be black or white. You have to be on this side or this side. It's literally fine. It's a-okay. I promise you, it's not life or death. And we are going to be okay on the other side, regardless of what e-reader you choose to use. If you choose to use an iPad, guess what? That's your prerogative. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Don't got nothing to do with you. Let's just leave it at that. But that's not what we're here to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. So we are discussing movie to book adaptations. Well, book to movie adaptations, if that makes sense. Yeah. So this past weekend, me and my husband went to go see Project Hail Mary in theaters, which honestly, so good. 10 out of 10. I'm not going to give any spoilers for people like me who did not read the book. My husband did read the book. He waited until the day of when he finished it. That Friday, he finished it that morning, and we went to go see it, and it was so good. Sorry for the dog. But one of the things I thought about while we were sitting here watching the movie, I'm like, I asked my husband, I was like, was it pretty close to the book accuracy? He said, yeah, there's a few things that were different, but for the most part, it's for the book. It's the fact that when we read books, I feel like some people comprehend them differently than others. So like in my head, I picture myself as the main character sometimes, especially if it's like a fantasy book, or I think of it in a sense of, with it like it's a movie in my head. Like I'm literally watching the movie as it plays on, where some people literally just read the words and like that's it. And I've come to the conclusion that my husband is definitely one of those people who just read the words rather than see the images for himself, which people's brains work differently. That's how you perceive it. But one of the things that made me think about sitting there watching the movie, I'm like, most movie adaptations of books that I've seen in like the past like 3 years suck, man. Suck. Especially when it comes to like the romance genre in general. Because I watched People Who Meet on Vacation. Okay. I love Emily Henry. I love the way she comes across on paper and her stories. They're very human, which is really cool. And I enjoy it. My favorite one by her is Happy Place. But when I tell you that movie that they made for the People We Meet on Vacation was terrible, I wanted my money back, and I didn't buy a movie ticket because it was on Netflix. That's a doggone shame. The book was different. The book was very different. I feel like they wrote it without a lot of elements of the character. In the movie, she came off as a little ditzy and annoying. In the book, she was a little bit more grounded, less all over the place. But I was just like, you're rewriting how a character is being perceived, which you would think you wouldn't do if you're trying to translate a book to film, but you did. And maybe that's on me because I don't I'm not a film person. Like, I watch movies, but I'm not somebody's like, yeah, this is the way they did it, blah, 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 blah. It's just more thinking of how do we best represent these characters who come up in book and put them on film to show how they are on film, which can be hard to do. But I'll tell you, that was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Dune is okay, but I feel like Dune also has a lot of world building. I did enjoy the movies. I read the first book. It was boring. It really was. So the movie actually made it better for me in that way. But you have other books that are like coming across screen now. So like the Elle Kennedy story, the off-campus series that she has, that's about to be made into a movie. I think the trailer dropped earlier this week. That one, I'm not looking forward to looking at that one either. I haven't read the book. I'm not a big Elle Kennedy fan, but I know it's not going to come across how it's supposed to come across. Now, in the complete opposite of that, Heated Rivalry, that was absolutely perfect. They captured it so well that I'm like, I need people who are in the business of writing stories and putting them on screen from book. That need them to watch that show multiple times, because everybody deserves to watch that multiple times. That and Project Hail Mary, things like that, because it helps the reader. It's like it's not about keeping it to the original works, like lining up, making sure it matches up, but it's just more of making sure that the same story is coming across. The problem lies when the story is not the same. And when you start to change little things that you may not think of as a big deal, it changes the tone of the story. It changes how the book is received. It changes a lot. And I feel like sometimes it can be looked at a little differently. But in my head, I'm like, I don't know if I wanted this. I don't think this is how it's supposed to be. And you start to question, did I not like this book? Did I just imagine this book in my head? I don't know. But it's definitely something that is worth considering and thinking about. Now, my MO, typically when it comes to books made into films, that I typically would try to read the book before I see the film. Because if I do it the other way around, it's going to piss me off. So therefore, I try to stay in a way that is going to be positive in as far as my viewership. So when I saw Housemaid in theaters, I went with my movie club. Yes, I do have a movie club that I am a participant in, along with my book club. It's actually a subsection of my book club, but we had called it our movie club. But we went to go see The Housemaid in theaters, and Housemaid was good. I liked it. It was a good time. Did I read the book? No. Do I have the book? Yes, it was a gift to me, but I'm not a big thriller person. It gives me too much anxiety. But I watched the movie and I enjoyed it. And I would say that I'm kind of happy I enjoyed it that way, because I did not see the twist coming. I didn't see how it was going to play out. So I was like, oh, this is surprise, surprise. But in that same note, I will also say that some people were like, this is different from the book. They changed this, or this character was not as heavily weighted on in this book as it was in the movie. And they're supposed to be making a second one. How are they going to do the sequel and all this other stuff? And that's when you start getting sticky, because you start trying to change the story and you change certain things. You have to think about the longevity and whether or not you're actually going to do a sequel, and whether or not you're going to do that with the same source material that you used in the first time, because that does affect how you will view the movie and understand and comprehend what we see on film. So that's the discussion at hand, but I feel like it's up to personal preference. Just kind of depends on what you're looking for and what you're looking into when you're going to a movie, when you're seeing it on TV or on the film screen. Do you feel like you like books better than movies? And because I feel like sometimes you lose a little bit of the detail, and sometimes you need that, but not everybody's imagination is the same. And so I feel like that is why we are seeing so many popular books being put into film, so that way other people can also experience it as well. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Like I said, I'm probably going to continue to do what I do and read the book beforehand before I go see the movie, or just depending on how I feel, going into it. But whatever floats your boat, do it, sister. It has nothing to do with me or you or whatever else is around you. It is your choice. Do what you want. We have free will, and therefore we shall use that free will. to do as we please. As far as what I'm currently reading, I'm started, hang on, where is it at? The Songbird and Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. The first two books, this duology, I loved. Absolutely loved Serpents of the Wing of Nights. I went back and I did To Slay a Vampire Slayer. I also went back and I read her other series, which got re-released, but The Daughter of No Worlds, which honestly, I still enjoy the original cover. I do not have the second book. I only got the first and the third, but I do love these covers. The new covers are pretty cool too, though, but this one is pretty OG. But I love her writing, and so far I'm only in like 6 chapters in the book, but I've been busy lately, and so I haven't really had time to kind of dive in. So I'm hoping to get that finished this week, because next on my list, my girl Sonora. I discovered her about 2 years ago on Kindle Unlimited with her other series that she had, the Vicious, no, what is it called? Not Vicious Oaths. Vicious Bonds. Okay. That one, I read all 4 of those books so doggone fast. I was addicted. So this is a standalone romantasy that she just came out with. So excited. I pre-ordered it from my favorite bookstore in Houston, Kindred Stories, and I'm so excited to get started with this one. Right now, I don't know if I'm gonna finish the one I'm currently in and start that. We'll see. Also, next, I want to read Sweet Heat. I got the ARC from NetGalley for this book. Hadn't read it yet because I did not read Honey and Spice. And at first I was like, oh, it's a standalone, I should be able to do it. Don't do that. Go read Honey and Spice, because it's going to make this one so much better. Have not read it yet, but I'm excited because I loved Honey and Spice. It took me forever to read it. I've had the book, just never read it. Loved Honey and Spice. Like 10 out of 10, 5 stars across the board. And I think it was relatable because it reminded me of my college days, because I went to a PWI and it was kind of giving those types of vibes. So I kind of liked it. So Sweet Heat is going to be so exciting because this is like a little bit more in the future. And so we can see him grown up. So I'm like, oh, I'm excited. I'm pumped. I also recently got Kin. I got that a couple weeks ago from Barnes & Noble. I read like the first 2 chapters, haven't finished, like gotten through that right now. This is one of those I pick it up when I'm thinking about it. We'll see how that goes. But for right now, definitely The Songbird and the Heart and Stone, Mayhem and the Mortal, Sweet Heat. After that, who knows? I don't know. I have so many books in my TBR. It's quite ridiculous. I was off last week for spring break for a few days, so I did get some reads completed, but not as many as I would actually prefer to get done. So your girl's going to be reading. I do have a lot of romance, short, quick, easy reads I want to read. I have to read my girl BK Borison's And Now Back to You, which I'm obsessed with her writing. I loved her last one in this series. The where is it at? Hang on, now I can find it. First Time Caller. This one, so excited about. So really pumped about reading those. So I think those are going to be like day reads. So like on the weekends, wake up, get her coffee, sit on the couch, get comfy, and we are going to read it and knock it out in the day. So I'm very excited for those as well. But other than that, I have too many books in my TBR. So please pray for me to actually sit down and get some stuff done, because I got a lot of books to read and there's so many new releases coming out and it's starting to stress me out. But if you want to add to the discussion, not to entice or anger anybody in the comments, please, because I learned that lesson from last time. Please be sure to go ahead and leave your comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to hang out with me, because I love to yap, and I like to yap about books and lifestyles. I may have some vlogs coming along soon. I'm trying to rework this YouTube life, and I don't have anybody to talk books with other than like my book club, which only meets once a month on Sundays. So in the meantime, I would love to talk books with you guys. So let me know what you want to think about, what you talk about, what you're reading. Let's see where we can go from here. Bye, friends.